Welcome to our channel with a new adventure about the life of Julius Caesar. Rome, a city born from myth, forged in war, and ruled by ambition. For centuries it expanded, driven by the strength of its armies and the wisdom of its statesmen. But in the year 100 BCE, the course of history was irrevocably changed by the birth of one man, Gaius Julius Caesar. His story is one of ambition and conquest, betrayal and power. It is the story of a man who rose from the aristocratic class to redefine what it meant to rule. His life would shape the destiny of an empire and lay the foundation for what would become one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever known. Number 1. Early life. Caesar was born into the gens Julia, a patrician family that claimed descent from Aeneas, the Trojan hero and son of Venus, though the Julii were noble. By the time of Caesar's birth, their political influence had waned. Rome, at this time, was a volatile mix of internal strife and military expansion. The city was divided between the Optimates, the conservative faction of the Senate, and the Populares, who championed the cause of the common people. Caesar's early life was shaped by these political tensions. His father, Gaius Julius Caesar, was a minor politician, while his mother, Aurelia, was a woman of immense intellect and determination. She played a significant role in shaping the character of her young son. Number 2. Sulla's Purge and early challenges. At the age of 16, Caesar's life took a dangerous turn. The civil war between the Populares and the Optimates culminated in the rise of Lucius Cornelius Sulla, a brutal dictator who sought to restore the power of the Senate. Caesar's uncle by marriage, Gaius Marius, had been Sulla's bitter rival, and the young Caesar's ties to Marius made him a target. Sulla demanded that Caesar divorce Cornelia, his wife, who was the daughter of a prominent Populare. Caesar refused, choosing honor over safety, and fled Rome. Sulla eventually pardoned him, but with a chilling prophecy: "In Caesar I see many Mariuses." It was a warning of the threat Caesar would one day pose to the Republic. Number 3. The pirates. Caesar, ever ambitious, joined the Roman army and embarked on military service in Asia Minor. During his travels, he was captured by pirates off the coast of Cilicia. The pirates, unaware of who they had captured, demanded a ransom of 20 talents of silver. Caesar, with characteristic arrogance, laughed and insisted they demand 50. For 38 days, Caesar lived among his captors, treating them more like subjects than jailers. He even vowed to return and crucify them once he was free. And true to his word, after his ransom was paid and he was released, Caesar raised a fleet, captured the pirates, and carried out their execution. This episode solidified his reputation as a man who was not to be trifled with, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Number 4. Political rise in Rome. Returning to Rome, Caesar pursued a career in politics. He was a master of rhetoric, known for his oratory skills and ability to sway the masses. He aligned himself with the Populares, the party of the people, and quickly ascended the political ladder. He was appointed quaestor, then aedile, and finally elected Pontifex Maximus, the high priest of Rome. But it was his formation of the First Triumvirate in 60 BCE that truly cemented his power. Alongside two of Rome's most powerful men, Pompey the Great, the famed general, and Marcus Licinius Crassus, the wealthiest man in Rome, Caesar created an alliance that would dominate Roman politics for years. The Triumvirate was a fragile balance of ambition, but it gave Caesar the leverage he needed to achieve his ultimate goal: military command in Gaul. Number 5. Conquest of Gaul. For nearly a decade, from 58 to 50 BCE, Caesar waged a campaign in Gaul that would immortalize him as one of history's greatest military commanders. He subdued the Gallic tribes, expanded Rome's territories to the Rhine River, and even crossed into Britain, a land unknown to the Roman world. His brilliance in strategy and leadership was matched only by his ruthlessness. In his Commentari de Bello Gallico, Caesar chronicled his conquests with a mix of precision and propaganda, ensuring that his victories in the field were known to the Roman people. His troops adored him, and their loyalty to Caesar became unshakable. He rewarded them with spoils, glory, and above all, loyalty. By 50 BCE, Gaul was fully under Roman control, and Caesar returned to Rome a hero. But his success in Gaul made him many enemies in the Senate, particularly Pompey, who had grown jealous of Caesar's power and popularity. Number 6. Crossing the Rubicon. In 49 BCE, as his term as governor of Gaul came to an end, Caesar faced a decision that would alter the course of Roman history. The Senate, under the influence of Pompey and Caesar's enemies, ordered him to disband his army and return to Rome as a private citizen. Refusal meant civil war. Compliance meant the end of his political career and likely his life. Caesar, knowing full well the consequences of his actions, crossed the Rubicon River with his army, uttering the now legendary phrase, "Alia iacta est," the die is cast by crossing the Rubicon. Caesar committed to war, defying the Senate and signaling the start of a civil conflict that would engulf the Roman world. Number 7. Civil war and Pompey's defeat. The civil war that followed pitted Caesar against Pompey, who had once been his ally. Pompey's forces initially held the upper hand, but Caesar's strategic genius and his unwavering confidence in his men allowed him to outmaneuver his rivals. At the Battle of Pharsalus in 48 BCE, Caesar dealt Pompey a decisive defeat. Pompey fled to Egypt, where he was assassinated on the orders of the young pharaoh Ptolemy XIII. Caesar followed him to Alexandria, where he became embroiled in the complex politics of Egypt and met Cleopatra, the queen who would become his lover and political ally. Number 8. Dictatorship and Reforms. With Pompey dead and the civil war all but over, Caesar returned to Rome in triumph. He was declared dictator for life, an unprecedented title that gave him absolute power. But Caesar was not content with merely ruling by force. He sought to reshape Rome from within. He enacted a series of sweeping reforms, reducing debt, restructuring the Senate, reforming the calendar into what we now call the Julian calendar, and granting citizenship to many in the provinces. He planned even more radical reforms, intending to bring stability to a republic that had long been teetering on the edge of collapse. But not everyone saw Caesar's rule as benevolent. To many senators, his accumulation of power was a threat to the republic itself. Whispers of conspiracy began to fill the halls of the Senate. Number 9. The Ides of March. On the 15th of March, 44 BCE, forever known as the Ides of March, Julius Caesar entered the Senate for what he believed was a routine meeting. He was unaware that a group of senators, led by Gaius Cassius and his friend Marcus Junius Brutus, had formed a conspiracy to end his life. These men believed that by killing Caesar they could restore the republic and end the tyranny they feared. As Caesar took his seat in the Senate, the conspirators gathered around him. First, they approached him under the pretense of presenting a petition, but within moments the knives were drawn. Servilius Casca struck first, cutting Caesar on the neck. Shocked, Caesar turned to his friend Brutus, the man he trusted above all others. His final words, spoken in disbelief, would echo throughout history: "It too, Brute. You too, Brutus." In a brutal flurry of stabs, Caesar was struck 23 times. The senators who once bowed to his authority now fled the scene, leaving his lifeless body to bleed out on the marble of the Senate House. Number 10. The aftermath of Caesar's death. The assassination of Julius Caesar was intended to restore the Roman Republic, but in reality, it plunged Rome into even deeper chaos. The conspirators had not anticipated the reaction of the Roman people, who revered Caesar as a champion of their cause. His death sparked immediate outrage, and public sentiment turned against the assassins. In the days following his murder, Mark Antony, Caesar's loyal lieutenant, delivered a stirring funeral oration. He presented Caesar's bloodied cloak to the people and read aloud from Caesar's will, which left generous bequests to the citizens of Rome. The crowd, stirred by Antony's words, erupted into fury. The conspirators fled the city in fear for their lives. Number 11. Caesar's legacy and the fall of the Republic. In the wake of Caesar's death, a new power struggle emerged. His adopted heir and grandnephew, Gaius Octavius, later known as Augustus, claimed his inheritance. Alongside Mark Antony and Marcus Lepidus, Octavian formed the Second Triumvirate, seeking to avenge Caesar's assassination and secure his own power. The civil wars that followed tore apart the fragile remains of the Roman Republic. The forces of Brutus and Cassius were defeated at the Battle of Philippi, and within a few short years the Republic ceased to exist. Octavian emerged as the sole ruler of Rome, taking the title Princeps and becoming the first emperor of Rome. Thus, the Roman Empire was born out of the ashes of Caesar's life and death. Number 12. The Immortality of Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar's legacy extends far beyond his lifetime. Though he never lived to see it, his death marked the end of the Roman Republic and the dawn of an empire that would last for centuries. His name became synonymous with power, so much so that future emperors would adopt the title Caesar as a symbol of authority, a title that endured through the Byzantine Empire and beyond. His military campaigns expanded the boundaries of Rome, bringing new lands and peoples under its dominion. His political reforms, while controversial, laid the foundation for the more centralized government that would characterize the Roman Empire. Yet, in the end, it was his ambition that was both his greatest strength and his fatal flaw. Caesar's life was a paradox, a man who sought to bring order to Rome, but whose pursuit of power ultimately destabilized the republic he claimed to serve. His assassination, though intended to save the republic, only hastened its fall. And so Julius Caesar remains one of the most complex and enduring figures in history, a man of vision, ambition, and contradiction. His life, like Rome itself, was marked by both greatness and tragedy, and in death he became immortal, a symbol of the rise and fall of empires. Number 13. Conclusion. The world has seen many great leaders, but few have left a legacy as lasting as that of Julius Caesar. His name continues to echo through the halls of history, a reminder of the heights to which human ambition can soar and the depths to which it can fall. Caesar may have been betrayed by those he trusted, but in the end, it was his ambition that redefined Rome, reshaped the world, and secured his place in the annals of time. The end. Thank you for watching us. Subscribe for more adventures.